Hello, everyone. Today, the topic we're going to address is the question, do demons actually exist? Many of you are curious about this issue and ask questions about it. This isn't just simple curiosity. It's a very important matter for our faith life. The Bible consists of three main relationships: God, humans, and Satan, a triangular relationship. For us to fully understand the Bible and properly grasp history and reality, we absolutely must know about the world of evil spirits, the world of demons, and the world of darkness. If we don't know this, many questions will remain unsolved, and there will be continuous obstacles in our faith life. Unfortunately, most churches today either hardly address this topic or cannot address it at all. The reason for this is very serious. Even in seminaries, there is absolutely no education about demonology or the study of evil spirits. According to my research, even after studying 7 years in seminary, students don't learn a single hour about Satanology, demonology, or the study of evil spirits. There are no courses on these subjects at all, and there are no dedicated professors. Therefore, we cannot blame pastors for not knowing about this field. They simply had no opportunity to learn. Biblical theology ignores it, systematic theology doesn't deal with it, and practical theology never mentions it at all. But what about reality? Pastors and missionaries face situations where they must engage in spiritual warfare with evil spirits daily in the field. From the early church period until about the 4th century, church fathers continued research and commentary on Satan, devils, and demons. However, for about 1,600 years after that, no scholar properly addressed biblical demonology. During this long gap, the devil developed countless methods to destroy the church and continues to attack modern churches. Yet, seminaries still show no interest in this problem. In the last century, there was almost only one scholar who took interest in this issue: Professor Merrill Unger from Dallas Theological Seminary in the United States. He was a scholar unparalleled in this field, writing about 10 books on demons. Sun Tzu's Art of War says, "If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles." But today, our pastors and believers know so little about the world of evil spirits that they are in a situation 100 times more dangerous than fighting 100 battles. If you don't know, you're bound to be deceived. This isn't simply a matter of being scammed out of a few dollars in the world. It's a serious problem where you could be scammed out of your entire life. There's an important fact you need to know first when studying evil spirits. We don't know the real names of evil spirits. God has never revealed the real names of evil spirits to anyone. The Bible never introduces what the original real names of evil spirits are either. All the names we know and call them by are not real names but pronouns. Satan is a pronoun meaning the adversary. Devil is a pronoun meaning the slanderer, diabolos. Evil spirit is a pronoun we call them by according to their evil nature. Many people think Lucifer is Satan's real name, but this is a complete misunderstanding. Lucifer is the Latin translation of the Hebrew phrase, son of the morning star, Venus, used in Isaiah as a metaphorical expression for the fallen king of Babylon. This is also a figurative expression, not a real name. Therefore, Satan, devil, evil spirit, Lucifer, etc. are all just pronouns, and we cannot know his real name. Let's look at how these are distinguished in the Bible. The being called Satan always appears in the singular in the Bible, one being, but demons appear in the plural. In the original Greek, they're called daimonion, and since there was no appropriate word to translate this into Korean, it was translated as demon. When we examine the biblical records about Satan carefully, we can find important clues in Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28. In Isaiah 14:3-20, there's a record of Satan satirizing the king of Babylon, and in Ezekiel 28:12-19, While satirizing the king of Tyre, each passage hints at some event that the Jews were already familiar with. Particularly in Isaiah, Satan is called morning star, which is the day star. When this word was translated into Latin, it became Lucifer, and in English, this was transliterated as Lucifer. In the Bible, Satan is called by various names: cherub angel, ancient serpent, dragon, etc. Interestingly, the concept of dragon exists not only in our country, but also commonly in Japan, China, and the West. In Greek, it's called drakon. This shows that it's not merely symbolic, but has substance. In our country, dreaming of dragons is considered a good dream, and in the past, when an empress dreamed of dragons, it was considered a conception dream. But from a biblical perspective, this is Satan working on someone who wants to seize power. From the moment someone who will become a king is conceived, evil spirits enter to create an evil ruler. Dragons extremely love authority and money, and they are experts in lies and deception. All the work of persecuting, tempting, and deceiving people is exactly the work of these evil spirits. When we look at how often these evil spirits are mentioned in the Bible, it's surprising. Satan appears a total of 49 times in the Bible. It starts from 1 Chronicles 21:1 in the Old Testament and appears more frequently in the New Testament. Devil doesn't appear at all in the Old Testament and appears 33 times only in the New Testament. Demons appear only twice in the Old Testament, in Deuteronomy and Zechariah, but appear as many as 101 times in the New Testament. Calculating this way, references to Satan, devils, and demons appear more than 180 times throughout the Bible. If the Bible is truth, then not studying these evil spirits that appear so frequently is tantamount to dereliction of duty. This is exactly why many believers are deceived, and even pastors are deceived. The Bible begins from the start with the story of God, humans, and Satan. God created spiritual beings, angels, before creating humans, and some of them joined Satan's rebellion. These were expelled from the ranks of angels. The being that appeared as a serpent in Genesis to tempt Eve was Satan. He deceived her, saying, "If you eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you can become like God." The Bible describes Satan as he who deceives the whole world. This means he's a cunning being capable of deceiving the entire world. Satan is described as a being with 1,000 names and 10,000 faces, 7 heads, and 10 horns. He's an actual being with various forms, and though fallen, he's an evil entity with intelligence far exceeding human capability. God generally made it so that these spiritual beings are invisible to people. If demons were constantly visible, we wouldn't be able to live normal lives. To properly understand evil spirits, you need to know that they're not all in the same situation. Looking at 2 Peter 2:4, it records that God did not spare angels when they sinned, but sent them to hell, putting them in chains of darkness to be held for judgment. Here, the Greek word translated as hell is Tartaros, which doesn't mean hell, but prison. It's a translation error. Jude 1:6 also records, "And the angels who did not keep their positions of authority, but abandoned their proper dwelling, these he has kept in darkness, bound with everlasting chains for judgment on the great day." These imprisoned angels are beings so extremely wicked that humans cannot handle them. God has imprisoned them until judgment, because if he released them, humans couldn't endure it. On the other hand, there are evil angels and demons currently active in the world. These are evil spirits to the extent that people can be tested by them, and they're testing people in all kinds of ways, even now. The methods by which devils and demons test people are myriad ways far beyond our imagination. They're ravaging churches and believers. Since God has allowed them as testers, we cannot prevent ourselves from being tested. We must pass through and overcome all these tests, trials, and temptations. Only then can we obtain the crown of life. The Bible mentions several places where evil spirits dwell. Hades, or the underworld, is a place where the souls of people who lived wickedly against God in the world stay until judgment. And Tartaros, the prison, is, as I mentioned earlier, the place where extremely wicked evil angels are confined until judgment. Though translated as hell, it's actually the concept of a prison. There's also the abyss, a bottomless pit that appears several times from Luke to Revelation, meaning a pit without bottom, an infinitely deep pit of darkness. Hell comes from Gehenna, derived from the name of a valley in Jerusalem. It was a place where Jerusalem's citizens dumped garbage. Since garbage kept accumulating, they would set fire to it during dry seasons. Since garbage was dumped daily, the fire never went out, and maggots never died but swarmed. It was a garbage dump where fire never went out all year round. When Jesus explained heaven to people, he said the kingdom of heaven is like. Similarly, for hell, he used this valley that people knew as a parable. The actual hell refers to the lake burning with sulfur, where human souls and all evil spirits will enter and suffer eternally. In Revelation, this is clearly expressed as the lake of fire and sulfur. According to the Bible, Satan's dwelling place gradually descends from heaven to the air, from the air to earth, from earth to the abyss, and finally to hell. The prophet Hosea lamented, representing God's heart. My people are destroyed from lack of knowledge. They perish not from lack of faith, but from lack of knowledge. The reason many believers today fall for the deceptions of evil spirits is exactly because of this lack of knowledge. Only those who know the truth can escape Satan's deceptions and enjoy true freedom. The important thing is that we must understand this demonology by properly distinguishing it. Satan and the devil are the same being and are always recorded in the singular. Sinful angels are described in the plural and never come into the world at all until the great day of judgment. If we fail to distinguish between imprisoned angels and active evil spirits, we'll fall into confusion. Without proper understanding of these spiritual realities, we cannot win in spiritual warfare. This is exactly why the Bible mentions them so much. In the future, all these evil spirits will enter the eternally burning lake of sulfur, and people who like or worship evil spirits, or who oppose God or live wickedly, will also enter there together. We must pass through and overcome all these tests to obtain the crown of life. Though this is a difficult topic, since it's essential content for our faith life, I hope you'll continue studying with me to the end and develop spiritual discernment. Based on this knowledge and understanding, we'll be able to escape Satan's deceptions, enjoy true freedom, and live victorious lives in God's truth. I'll cover more detailed content next time. Please subscribe and don't miss it. Thank you.